Right now, from the BioLife Plasma Services family interview area, it's Joni Smith.
Thank you so much, the Rotering families. With me, every one of them, Diane and Kevin, Kale, Rosie, and of course, our hero Mason. And you know what? I think most of Trimpolo education staff is here with us. Hello! Now, I think some of Mason's teachers are here. I think you guys banded together because you wanted to be here tonight. And you know what? That is so special. They're on our phone bank. So we're going to make those phones ring because we're going to put our educators to work. Because I heard you guys get your instruction and you took it very well. Because you give instruction all day long and taking it sometimes is a little different. You have to, but you did great. We saw that, and so we want to put that to the test and keep our phones ringing at 781-1477 as we tell Mason's story, and that's your job, you guys. Are you up for that?
I think so.
Okay, tell us the beginning. What happened?
Mason was diagnosed with Down syndrome shortly after he was born, so that was a surprise, but not too much of a major hurdle. And then in December of 2013, he was diagnosed with leukemia 2 days before Christmas, and we spent 9 days in the hospital at that point. And on Christmas Eve, he had his port placed and got his first dose of chemo through a spinal tap. So that was kind of the start of everything. So it was 2.5 years of treatment. And
when you first heard the word leukemia, what went through? I mean, had he been sick? Was he giving you guys some indication that there was something going on?
He wasn't feeling very good at the time, so we kind of thought something was up, and we were leaning towards a sinus infection, so we were kind of treating it as such. Well, that was not getting better, and then I took him into the emergency room real late one night, and that's when I got the news. I called her before I got the news, and she met me down here in the emergency room, and that's like shortly after she got here, all of a sudden the doctor came in and told us what was going on.
So how old was he at that point?
3.
He was 3 years old. So your 3-year-old is now having a port put in his chest wall and getting ready to receive chemotherapy?
Yes.
And the chemotherapy went for?
Almost 2.5 years.
Okay.
And that was a long road. He was hospitalized many times in there. He got, I don't know how many IVs and different types of drugs, and it was a long process.
Where are we at now with it?
He is completely done with treatment and gets no more chemotherapy or anything. Now all we have to do is once a month we have to come down for blood work to make sure everything is progressing like it should be. And he's been doing great ever since. I mean, he was a champ through the whole process, and we were trying to keep up with him even when he was sick.
When you go in for these tests and you're waiting for the results to see how he's doing, what happens to you during that time?
Usually he's playing and having fun in the playroom, so it doesn't really bother us. I mean, if he's got a smile on his face, it don't matter what he's going through, we're happy because we know he's in good hands.
So right now, cancer-free?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
He's got a high 80, low 90% chance where it'll never, ever come back again.
Those are good numbers.
Yes, definitely.
Those are good numbers. So Children's Miracle Network, how did they step in to help you guys?
They helped us out with gas money, and like if we were in a long hospital stay, they'd offer us food vouchers to go down to the cafeteria, get some food or whatever. There was even once where I forgot my billfold at home, and they had those offered, so I didn't really have to worry about it, and it was real nice.
Diane, we were just talking a couple minutes ago. You guys just took a trip. Can you tell us about that?
We actually just got back from Disney World. Mason went on his Make-A-Wish trip.
So how did he do traveling?
He was okay. This was his first plane ride, and as much as I expected it to be a lot more entertaining than it was, he did okay. And even when we did have a layover, when we landed in Chicago on the way home, everybody has to get off the plane in front of you, and he didn't really want to wait for that. So we convinced him to give everybody on the plane a high five, and that stalled enough that we could get off the plane without him having a meltdown.
Well, perfect. And I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm sorry, Diane. I know your name is Diane. May I just say that what I did was
Danny.
Mom is Danny. Well, who put Diane down here? Somebody did that. Heather? Anyway.
Ironically,
Okay.
I get it a lot because I throw that E on the end, and as people see the I and the E before they see the A.
There
I
you
don't
go.
know. Trust me, you're not the first.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. You got to go on your trip. and now things are settling back down again.
Things are settling back down. In general, this year has been amazing just because we got the cancer-free diagnosis in February. He was in 4K at that time. He missed actually nearly the entire month of February in school because his counts weren't high enough to fight off the germs of the other kids or anybody else in general. So he pretty much was quarantined to the house the entire month of February. After we got the diagnosis that he was clear, he got to go back to preschool. His counts came up. He enjoyed playing with his friends. This summer was the first summer he got to be a kid. He went to swimming lessons. He went to Bible school. He got to go to birthday parties. I mean, it's hard to tell a little kid they can't go to a birthday party. So he got to have so much fun this summer. He got to play t-ball, and he played t-ball with all his friends, and I'm not sure who had more fun at t-ball, Dad chasing him around the bases or Mason having the time of his life.
Well, we saw Mason zip through here at the lobby at Gunderson Health System, and the child can move.
Yes.
He's got some wheels on him.
Yes, it's hard to keep up with him.
It is hard to keep up
He
with
has
him.
been moving since he was little. We are actually, Mason also has Down syndrome, and because of that, you either are. There's apparently two. When he was little, we were told there's two kinds of kids. They're either going to be the child that sits and likes to watch things, and you have to entice them to move, or they are the ones that are very active, and you have to keep up to them.
He's the active.
We were blessed that he was the super active one.
Yes, and he appears to just love his little sister to death.
He loves. Unfortunately, right before he was diagnosed, his older brother, taught him how to wrestle. Well, that backfired real quick because when Mason got better, he now sits on Kale, and now Kale is the one that taught him how to wrestle, but is not the one winning anymore.
You know, when we sat down here, we thought, okay, let's think of a number of calls that we should try to go for while you guys are here. And since you brought half a Trimplo with you, I thought, oh my gosh, you guys are popular people. So what happens is we were thinking, well, let's go for 10 calls. Well, you know what? We're going to have to do better than that because we already have 11 calls. So, no! Let me just update that. We have 12 calls. Another one just came in. So we're going to go for 20. Does that sound all right? Are you guys
Yep,
on the
yep.
Okay, since we have the educational staff with us here, and they're doing a very good job keep getting these pledges coming in, we're going to keep working on it at 781-1477, 1-800-853-6889. So we are over halfway there. The phone just rang again. So we're going to just keep this up. How does that sound? That sound like a plan?
Sure.
Beautiful.
Okay, so when you were on your trip, now when you go on a trip like that, do you have to take anything special equipment with you? Do you have to take, is there certain food that you have to be careful of?
Nope, we're actually pretty lucky. We don't have to take care of any stuff like that. He's pretty much a normal kid right now, and he can have all the fun and do anything any other kid can do.
The only thing we have to worry about right now is potty training.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And that can be challenging.
That can be challenging. We did we left the diapers when he was in chemo just because we didn't want to alter
Right.
too many things, and it's easier as parents to deal with diapers and chemo than it is to have to sanitize the bathroom every time he goes to the bathroom to keep everybody else in the family safe. So we left the diapers, and now that he is chemo-free and he is cancer-free, we are hitting the potty training train.
But a lot of times when you talk about potty training, very few people talk about potty training and chemotherapy together.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a whole different deal.
Yes.
Because dealing with chemotherapy to begin with, for an adult, much less a young child that has other things going on, I can see where, that would really bring on some extra challenges, and probably challenges that other parents don't even think about. I mean, why would you if that isn't what's happening in your house? But when you guys are coming in here and sharing your stories with us, that's how we're letting everybody know all the stuff that really goes on when you have to deal with things on a daily basis.
Yep.
So the next thing I think what we should do is talk about what's next for him. What grade's Mason in?
Mason is now a kindergartner.
He's now a kindergartner. Okay. So what do you think? Do you think do you think sports? Do you,
He loves baseball, football, any kind of sport really, so it's kind of what we think he can accomplish. I mean, T-ball went great for him. I mean, I think you were there the night we were at the Loggers game when he was running around the bases, so that was an amazing night for him. He had a blast there.
By the way, we just got another call. We're up to 13. Yeah, baseball and the loggers.
Yes, he had a blast there, and then he loves football. If football's on TV, he'll sit in front of that TV jumping up and down, hooting and hollering. He just absolutely loves it. Not sure who he's cheering for, but he cheers for a good game.
That's right. And that's, you know what? A lot of adults should take that advice. Cheer for a good game.
Unless it's the Vikings.
Okay. Okay. Say it.
No matter what, it's really hard to cheer for the Vikings.
You know, you try to ride that line, but it's really hard when you live on the river, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's
and
really hard.
Both Kevin and I work in Minnesota, so we feel it both ways.
Oh,
Yep.
you get it both ways. So your home's in Trimplow.
Yes.
Yep.
And do you work in Winona?
Yes, we both work in Winona.
Okay. All right. And so 781-1477 seems to be a very popular phone number because the calls are still coming in. I don't know if you could hear that, but we're waiting to hear. I think that was another one. They're busy writing down over there. This educational staff from Trimplow, they must really love Mason, huh?
Yes.
Teachers from Tremplow are amazing.
Were you surprised how many of them came here tonight?
I was surprised how many of them came here. I was surprised. We got emailed from the.
I think that's number 14.
We got an email from Ashley when we were on our trip and we were on the way back, and she's like, "Hey, can you contact the staff and see if you can get anybody to answer the phones for us?" I emailed Mason's teacher at 3 o'clock their time, and by the time I woke up the next morning, she said, "I got everybody you need."
I
What do
think
I
you
do
did.
next?
I think, and they're waiting in line. Now, that was the 15th pledge that came in.
Wow.
So we're 5 away from our goal. And you know what? We're just going to keep having some conversation here. Because I think what's happening here is people are like, you know what? I'm going to pick up the phone to help them, to help families like you, because the money stays local.
Yep.
And you never know. You don't know from one day to the next when there's a need that comes up. We've been talking to families this afternoon that have had, they need help with special equipment. They need a bathroom remodeled because the tub doesn't work for their little one. I mean, there's amazing ways that you don't even think about. Helping out with horse therapy. That was another mom that told us about that. And so the gas vouchers for you guys, because you were putting on some miles.
Yeah, we
on
made
your
a
car.
lot of trips down to Gunderson. I don't even know how many we made total. I know we've kind of been keeping track of it and all that, but it's a lot.
I think I'm actually on my 4th vehicle since Mason's treatment started.
Because you put a lot of miles on them.
Because
We
I
have
put miles
15
on
calls.
because I'm in the car
We're up to
often.
15. Oh, I'm sure you are. And that, and now 16. 16 calls. You guys are so, I don't know if it's just,
It's Mason.
Mason.
Yep, it's
Is
Mason.
it Mason? Is it him?
Yep. He's never afraid to give anybody a high five. He's not shy of anybody whatsoever, and he loves all these CMN events that we're going to, and
That would be number 17.
he gets to hand out cards and stuff and chat it up with anybody out there and go to soccer games like we were a while ago. And
Had you guys been to a October Maple Leaf parade before?
no, we have never gone to that. And then when we went to that, Mason got to hand out stuff, and he had a blast.
We saw you. We saw your faces. I was watching. And that's a long parade.
Yep.
But it seemed like he was a trooper.
Yeah, he
Mason
was-
was just having a great time.
Yep, he was a trooper. I pulled him along in a wagon, and he was handing out everything he could. And then about 3/4 of the way through, he ran out of stuff to hand out, so he just kind of laid down and fell asleep on top of the cooler, and everybody just loved his smile while he was sleeping as we were rolling down the road.
For your families too, for the CM&H families, when you can do something different like that, especially for the kids, because it may be an opportunity that they wouldn't be able to do, to go through the Maple Leaf Oktoberfest parade like that. That's a big deal. There's a lot of people that learn about Children's Miracle Network hospitals.
Yep.
I mean, it's actually kind of funny. Both Kevin and I are not talkative people. We don't willingly talk in front of people by any means. But Mason, he's not scared of anything. He's made us open up our shells more just to be around him.
And that is something, you just don't know how these blessings are going to come to you. You
Yep.
just don't know. And, to get you to a comfort level, which I wouldn't have had any idea that the two of you are not comfortable doing this, because you certainly have been able to share your story, share Mason's story, share what goes on in your house. I mean, how is it getting ready in the morning? Is it chaos, or you guys do all right?
It's organized chaos. She does a lot of it. I try to help out as much as I can, but it's kind of, you got to have a system. Sometimes he kind of bucks it where he might not want to cooperate with you. Other times he's 3 steps ahead of you. It depends.
How does he get to school? Does he get to ride the bus?
He gets to ride he gets to ride the bus in the morning with his big brother, which has been the highlight of everything. He's been dreaming about that bus since Kale got on it.
You know, and that's a big deal because we had a family here very early this morning, and she was not happy because she was not able to ride the bus to school this morning. And that was number 18 that just came
Nice.
in. 18 just came in. We're two away from the goal. And by the way, can I just tell you, this is the biggest goal we've had all day. This
Nice.
is the biggest goal. So you guys are doing an unbelievable job. When they ask you about the Hero program at CMNH, how did you guys feel about that?
We were actually excited that he'd be able to do something like that and give back after they helped us out. So that way we can continue and pay it forward and help out other families that may need it in the future, because now that he's all done with his treatments, we're back to work for the most part and doing everything we should be doing, so we're just fine. But we have gone through that where we know other people would need that in the future. And it is a great thing, and it's getting us out of our shells, but he's having fun with it too. So it's a great time for him.
Have you been able to talk to other families that have similar issues going on? Are you able to share stories with?
Yep. We've talked to other families. We've actually talked to a few people that we didn't know had issues in the past, where they either lost a kid or whatever and were affected by CMN. So that touches a person. The fact that you get to talk about stuff like that too.
Well, and that's probably something that you had never imagined that you would be in the position to do.
Yep.
I mean,
definitely.
you're kind of experts now. You've started to be experts in new things, haven't you? That's 19. We have one away. We have 19, 781-1477, 1-800-853-6889. We're one phone call away from a 20. One more call. Do you hear the chant? They would like one more call to come in, and so would we at 781-1477, 1-800-853-6889. And what we'll do is we will continue to ask for phone calls until we get that one last one, because I know we can do it. I hear some chatter going on over here, and we'll just wait. We'll wait for our Trimplo Elementary teachers to let us know if the 20th one has come in. We're waiting on the edge. Are you on the edge of your seat?
Definitely.
All right, Kevin. You just stay on the edge of your seat. Okay, don't fall off.
We're
good, because I know
close.
what's coming. I know it's coming. The anticipation, 781-1477, 1-800-853-6889. In case you're tuning in and wondering, what in the world am I listening to? It's the Children's Miracle Network Hospital's Radiothon, and we'll be here until, I don't know, like 6 o'clock, and then all day tomorrow, and then Saturday as well. We'll have more heroes coming in sharing stories. We're waiting for just one more call at 781-1477, 1-800-853. Oh, there it is. Congratulations, Rotering family. You had a lot to do with that. And the phones
Thank you.
are still ringing.
It was all Mason.
All right. Well, thanks a bunch. We'll let you go over there and see what's happening over on that side. We appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. You're listening to the Children's Miracle Network Radiothon, and it is a service of the La Crosse Radio Group.